Hey y'all. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Huh. Hey y'all. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Alright. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. That was the most painful, excruciating thing to ever deal with, I think, that I've had on here. Although, I didn't quite figure out all of it, I don't think. But let me try. Ugh. I am... Yeah, no, that sucked. Like, actually. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure things out. Oh my goodness. That was painful, y'all. I'm still so mad. How are you all doing, though? No, my computer, like, literally, my mouse froze again. I couldn't move the mouse. I had to, like, power it off completely. And this happened the other day as well on my live stream. I'm not sure why. But yeah. I'm still looking, I'm trying to recover the notes that I had, because I had so much written, you guys. Like, 3 hours it took me to write those notes. Man. Trying to figure things out. Wonder if I like right click, sort by, date modified. Maybe that'll help. You still have embarrassment from the guy at the grocery store? Oh. You have nothing to be embarrassed about, don't worry. Let me see. Well, sorry if I'm distracted. I'm still kind of looking through everything and hoping that I can find something. I was like Googling ways to like recover, because I write my notes on WordPad, which isn't like Word document. It's a little bit different. But I'm just not seeing it, to be honest. Well, I think my 3 hours of notes are a loss. So, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? I had tons of notes on Sonny and Carly and Bobby's death and, you know, the stuff with Nicholas, a bit of everything. And it's all gone. All of it. Hey DG, that was actually also in my notes on whether or not we should start doing it earlier, because I seen your comments earlier. And I'm open to doing it earlier. I obviously can't do it much earlier than I do, just because I have other things going on in my life as well. But like maybe even like an hour and a half earlier I could do potentially. So what do y'all think of that? Like starting next week, obviously. I think Wednesday we'd still do like 9:30, just because I've planned my work schedules around the live streams too. But yeah, I'm definitely open to earlier live streams if you guys want. But yeah, frankly, I'm kind of honestly really annoyed that all my notes are gone, because it took me hours, you guys, to write those things out. Dante arrested his dad. Yes, he did. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to keep this live stream short, honestly, and just kind of share my thoughts on the show this week overall. Not like the regular recap of everything. Which is unfortunate, because I had so much. But, I mean, first thing I want to talk about is kind of everyone's performances this week. Obviously, they addressed Bobby's death. Laura Wright did a phenomenal job, I felt. And I think that, I mean, for me, Christina Wagner was kind of the one I was waiting for. I mean, I know Carly is Bobby's daughter. But there is, like, for me, slight disconnect because Laura Wright is the Carly number 4, and really the thick of her and Bobby's relationship happened under Sarah Brown. All, like, the memorable stuff. Although, obviously, Laura Wright's been playing Carly for many, many years. Bobby has kind of just been, like, her support, and that's kind of been her role on the show. So not when the character was kind of at the height of her sort of prime for Bobby, I mean. But Christina Wagner, you know, everything that Felicia and Bobby have been through together, has been, you know, kind of on my mind since Jackie passed. So I was really looking forward to Christina Wagner's performance, and she didn't disappoint. Felicia rather, and Anna, they had to go through Bobby's office and go through her things, and there was all these pictures of Bobby with her friends and family, and they even had like a little touch of her original nurse's ID badge and her little cap, and they kind of made it a joke about like her big hair in the 80s and 70s. And I think it was Anna that was like, we all had the hair, and they just giggled about it. I don't know, I really enjoyed those scenes pertaining to Bobby probably the most out of everything that we saw. Kind of sad that Kirsten Storms wasn't the one doing the scenes when she was telling Cody about her heart transplant. Even though Kirsten Storms wasn't even playing Maxie when that storyline happened, Kirsten has played Maxie for so long, and because I know who Kirsten is, I know that she was going to bring the emotion to that, and so there's a bit of a disconnect with the recast as well on there. But you know, this is also someone that's just standing in for like a day or two for Maxie, so that doesn't help the situation either. And then of course Jocelyn Eda McCoy, she's not on right now because her mom passed away in real life. So it would have been nice to see Eden with that too, but that's understandable. And I think I've heard that people are being angry at her for not being there. And like, to anyone that does, like, shame on you, honestly. Are you asking me, SLJ, what time it is? It's about 10 o'clock right now. Sorry, I gotta look at what you guys are saying. Dante arrested his dad. Dante arrested Sonny. Drew made me mad. Oh, man. Felicia and Carly are going on an adventure after Bobby's funeral. Or Bobby's memorial. That'll be interesting. Badge to 1988. Didn't say 1977. I didn't notice that much details on it. Cleaning up Bobby's office was a good scene. They had some great pictures on the desk. They really did, including Bobby and, I think, was it Bobby and Felicia at Anna's wedding? So 2 hours behind Eastern time. Yeah, I'm in Mountain time over here. Mountain Standard Time. Something else I wanted to say in regards to the performances surrounding Bobby is that I really enjoyed Jeannie and Kin and John and Lynn, their scenes together talking about Bobby. Lucas had called Laura and told her the news, and all four of them were at the PC Grill, and they reminisced about their relationships with Bobby, and I really liked that Lucy brings up their rivalry, but talks about the moment that they bonded in regards to BJ's death. And I loved that Scott talked about, you know, all of his start and stops with romances with Bobby, how it never really truly got to happen. And Laura talking about their origins of their relationship and how they really hated each other, but they grew to become sisters with or without Luke. So that was touching to me. And within all of that as well, they had flashbacks showing. So they flashed back to a date that Bobby and Scott went on in the early 2000s, and a scene from the 90s in regards to BJ. And then a scene from like 2013 era with Laura and Bobby, when Bobby came back to town, just after Nicholas was shot, I think. So yeah, like I appreciated the flashbacks. Carly did have a flashback too. It was when Carly decided to change her name to Carly Spencer instead of Carly Corinthos, which is, I think that was a great scene for them to put. I'm hoping that when it comes to the memorial, the flashback that I would like to see, if we're not going to see like Sarah Brown, Tamara Braun, their Carlys, the scene that I want to see with Laura Wright and Jackie Zeman is the scene after Tony died, and Carly asked Bobby if she could come to the funeral. I feel like that was really their first real scene together, I believe, when Laura took over the role. So maybe not the first, but the first meaty materialed scene with Laura Wright as Carly. So I would like to see that in a flashback. What else are you guys saying? I was hoping they would dig back in the archives and show the scene Bobby and Laura fought in the back room. I was thinking about that scene too, DG, because I actually did see those scenes in the Luke and Laura playlist on SSZQ's channel back in the day. I was hoping that they would show this. Okay, I seen that. Oh, I'll show the scene where Bobby drugged Scotty to make Laura believe that they had slept together. That would have been a great scene too. I was wondering why they didn't choose when she got the Metrocore. Sorry? I don't see why people were so freaked out about what Drew said to Nina. The man was angry. We seen physical violence against women acted on the show, and people still watch. Twitter chirping. Funny enough, Angel, that was also in my notes, because I guess we'll talk about Nina now and the story pertaining to that. So obviously Sonny found out the truth from Lois, and Lois really said to ask Michael who it was, and then the accused kind of left Michael and Sonny alone to kind of deal with that out. And Sonny was crying, and then, as Michael admitted, it was Nina and Willow had walked in, and all hell broke loose with Sonny and Nina. And Sonny and Nina, Nina was kind of being Nina about it. She was making excuses for herself and saying things like, I felt so guilty and I'm so sorry. And Sonny was kind of like, well, not sorry or guilty enough. So he got some digs in there. And then he forces her to go over to Carly's. Of course, he doesn't know that Bobby is dead. He forces her to go to Carly's to admit what she did. And the most cringe part about it was that she said something to the effect of, oh, you're telling me to go to Carly so she can shred me apart because you can't bring yourself to do it. You still love me, and then left, and it was so cringe for me. But anyway, she goes to Carly's house and admits the truth, and Carly, of course, shreds her for it. And then when Drew walks back into the room when they're having a yelling match, Carly tells Drew what Nina did. And yes, like Angel said, he was furious. Not only did he basically say, if you were a man, I would strangle you, which I had heard people were going off on Twitter about that, so I wanted you guys to confirm that. So thank you, Angel. And I don't really see the big deal with it either. Mostly because we also know there's something going on with Drew. There's something's off with him. We don't know what it is. So I'm like, okay, this is obviously, it's not something Drew would normally say. And then Drew also lashed out and said that he was going to tell her grandkids everything too, which is very not like Drew to kind of, bring the kids into the matter when they're so young, and to be to essentially shit on their grandmother. You know what I mean? So I didn't see anything wrong with it. But yeah, to that end, we've seen some pretty violent things against women on the show. But yeah, for me, I just kind of feel that it's tying into whatever is going on with Drew mentally. Something is off with him. The thing with flashbacks, you have to pay the people who are in the flashbacks even though they aren't on the show anymore. Well, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not personally expecting to see flashbacks of Sarah Brown and Tamara Braun, and if they do, then props. I don't I also don't rule out that GH might do it anyway, just because it's Jackie. It's kind of like how when Edward Quartermain died, they showed flashbacks of, I think, of all, or no, was it? It was either when Lila died or when Edward died, but we've seen all the Edwards in the flashbacks. Even though John Ingle, I think, or no, it wasn't John Ingle, it was a third recast of Edward was on as him at the time. So, GH did what they had to do back then, and maybe they'll do it now, but I don't know. I'm going on the notion that they're probably just going to show Laura Wright's Carly, and if they do, then that scene that I mentioned earlier is what I'd want to see. What else are y'all saying, though? Drew said to Nina you're saying it was very Ryan Lavery. I don't know the guy, so I can't can't confirm that myself. I know the actors get paid anytime their image is used. That's why I stipulate my scenes, because the people involved are still on the cast, so they get paid anyway, except Jackie. Cynthia Wittrose better submit next year. I don't know. She's doing an okay job. My favorite moment, though, in regards to the Sonny and Nina situation, well, in regards to Sonny and Nina themselves in this situation, is that Nina, after leaving Carly and Drew's place, tried to go back to Sonny's, and she could barely get a sentence out, and he just slammed the door in her face. That was funny to me. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised, because you guys know that I've felt like Sonny was not gonna see this as a really big deal, but he's a lot angrier than I thought he would be. So, props to GH for surprising me on that. However, he is significantly less angry than he is when women betray him in the past, and they kind of like acknowledge that a little bit, because Lois goes to check in on him the next day, and there's no glasses smashed in the house. There is no blood on the walls, except there is blood on his knuckles, because he also happened to beat Cyrus to a pulp, because Cyrus got in his face and made it known that he knew what Nina did. And he beat him up in a church, by the way. So I don't know. And also Sonny got arrested for that, like you guys were mentioning in the chat. Basically, Cyrus wasn't going to give up who beat him to a pulp. Not to Dante, who was questioning him. So then Laura tried, and she basically played the "if you want to earn my trust" card, you got to tell me the truth. So he admitted it was Sonny. Dante went to Sonny's and arrested him. By the way, that was Dante and Lois's first interaction together since she's been on the show. So that was kind of disappointing for me. But it is what it is. He deserves to get arrested. I ain't mad that he got arrested. And I think that what's going to happen... Hey, DC. I think what's going to happen is... Cyrus is going to have the charges dropped so that he can gloat and feel like Sonny owes him one. You know what I mean? That's how I feel is going to happen. Oh, I do know about that, DC, about Ryan and Duke Lavery being related. I forget how I heard that, but I did hear that. And, like, why did they do that? Was Ryan Lavery on when Finola Hughes was playing Anna on there? That's what I want to know. Oh, man. If I hear Drew and Sam arguing about the damn school Scout doesn't want to go to anymore, I'm going to scream. I think it's already done with DG. They kind of hashed it out on Friday's episode. Like, yeah, they had a disagreement, and so, like, initially Drew had lashed out on Sam, but they talked it out, and, like, because Sam, she kind of made a decision to not put her in the school, and Drew was mad at that, but then she pointed out that Drew didn't, plan to put her in the school without talking it out with Sam as well. And then they kind of reached a point of, like, you know what? Drew was like, you know what, you're right, it was stupid to pull Scout out of school and put her in a new one in the middle of the school year. And Sam's like, yeah, but we can, bring this back up in the summertime at the end of the school year. And it's a good compromise. So, I think it's already resolved. I don't think we're going to hear more of it, but I think we are going to hear or see things that are out of behavior for Drew. That's how I feel. Frank Valentine wastes enough money on his pet actors so he can waste some money on good flashbacks. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Drew did punch Ned when he initially learned Ned turned him into the SEC. So if Nina was a man, she would have got hit. Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm reading through your guys' comments. Brooklyn can't wait for Jason's return to knock Drew's brain back to reality. So that's the thing. I think, I don't think they've posted a full podcast yet, but they've been posting clips on Daily Drama, which is Stephen Bradford's podcast. And one of the shorts that they posted was Steve addressing that he's not begun shooting yet. He doesn't know when his start date is yet. They just told him to come in to shoot that promo for the primetime special, and that's all that he knows yet. He knows that he's coming back to the show, but he doesn't have a start date. And I don't think he means like air date. I think he means start date for shooting. He doesn't know anything yet. He doesn't know what the story is, what they're gonna do. He's just grateful to be back. Nina got him the cat? The what? Due to Anna's brief stint in Pine Valley. Okay. So she was around when they kind of brought Ryan on. TG said, I don't really care about Jason returning unless they give him a new storyline. I think his character and story are stale. He's been playing the Enforcer for nearly 30 years now. Time to move on. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, you know? Like, the thing is, they have strayed from the mob overall. Like, especially when you compare it to the Guzi years. And even Jason's last stint, like, they had him doing a lot of other things away from the mob. I'd be down for them to continue that route too. Because you're right, it is stale. I don't personally care to see Jason being the mob hitman, but I do think that, obviously, given what Carly and Sonny are going through right now, separately, he's going to be spending a lot of time with them. Because I truly think that Carly's going to spiral over what she is going through between her mom and the Nina stuff. Like, she ain't gonna do so well. And also with Drew being a little bit weird, like, she's got a lot to deal with right now. So he's gonna obviously sort of, you know, gravitate to her. And then Sonny's a different matter, I suppose, because like I said, while the past Sonny would have drunk himself into a stupor and smashed glass all over his house and stuff, Sonny chose not to drink this time. So Sonny's handling this betrayal a lot better than he used to. I mean, he still beat someone to a pulp. But, like, he ain't drinking. He's not even, like, fully giving up on Nina, which I don't know how, that's, like, not fun. That's the not fun part. Los is the one that pointed out to Sonny that he's still wearing his wedding ring. But I think it also shows that they want to establish that Sonny isn't exactly who he was before he had lost his own memory. So, I don't know. They're moving a little bit differently here with these stories. Ricky said, I think I'll write the show. They need help behind the scenes. Angel, you said, I hope Laura can see through Cyrus's manipulation. I hope so too. But Cyrus did have a good point in saying, like, Sonny's not the man that you seem to worship. Like, this is the reality of the kind of man that Sonny can be at times, and you're kind of blind to that, and that is actually true. As much as Cyrus is also manipulating the situation, he is also speaking the truth. The ABC soaps did crossovers like it was no one's business. That I do remember, which was great because it kind of forced the viewers to watch other soaps and be able to keep up. Sky Quartermain, prime example. Yeah, see, I wasn't watching the other soaps back then, so when Sky came on, I didn't know who she was in the ABC soap world. But you have to remember, like, I was also like a teenager, so I really wasn't paying much attention back then to, like, the overall stories. And plus I was in school, so I wouldn't get to see the other soaps. GH was the last one on. It would be on just as I got home from school, so that was that. Also, who names a Girl Scout? I think technically Danny did, right? Sam's other child named her Scout, and they named her Emily after Jason. So Emily Scout, whatever. I think it's a ridiculous name too. I hope that eventually when she's a little bit older, she's like, can you guys call me Emily instead? I'd like to call her Emily. Also, I know we talked about it on Thursday, but it was great to see Amber Tamblyn back on the set of GH during the primetime special. Steve Burton said he only has 2 to 4 years of acting in him, so this will be his last stint, which will be interesting. Well, I mean, you know, they all say that. Maurice has said that dozens of times. He still hasn't retired. Steve, I mean, it's his prerogative. I think that he will retire as well. You know, like, they've earned it at this point. They've committed so much of their life to these characters. You know, like 30 some years for both of them. So if they want to quit, then they want to quit, and then we know that GH is capable of writing without Steve Burton and Jason on the show. You know, and I think that they would thrive without Maurice on the show as well. It just means that they have to let go of constantly making them the focal point of the show and make it an ensemble cast again. They've not really ever since I've watched, given other characters, time to shine as leads, in the ways that characters like Sonny, Carly, and Jason do. So I would like to see, when the time comes for Steve or Maurice to leave the show for good, the show really become an ensemble cast. Because, it does get old. It does get old to see them constantly on screen all the time. And the only characters kind of getting close to that lead too are kind of connected to them in ways as well. Oh, you think Cyrus will drop the charges too? Sky's birth mother was Ray Cummings, which in a way was underwhelming. They should give Jason a different love story. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of people are saying that Kelly Monaco looked so not happy in the photos with Steve. Oh man, yeah, Amber did give a great tribute to Stuart Damon. Yeah, that was a highlight for me too, DG. We talked about it Thursday, and yeah, that was the tribute to Alan was actually really well done. Alan and Stuart, sorry. And I'm glad that they had the acknowledgement there, because they didn't really get to address Stuart Damon's death on GH because they had already killed the character of Alan. TG, you said the problem with the show these days is whenever they want some action for sweeps, they always turn to the mob. Yeah, and it is unfortunate because, well, I mean, not always. I mean, there was a lot of, I guess in the last year, they had the Greenland stuff, which had absolutely nothing to do with the mob and everything to do with the Cassidines. So that was fun. That was a fun action-packed thing where we got to see, Holly burning into flames or bursting into flames, and Felicia and Robert kind of, doing their old capers, which, I don't know, I really enjoyed all of that from that. I think Greenland story was probably one of my favorites in 2023. Actually, this morning I was thinking about what my favorite storylines and scenes were from 2023, and it was Greenland, but also my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes of the year was pretty early on in the year, after Ryan Chamberlain was killed by Mac, and Kevin and Mac had been avoiding each other, and Felicia kind of makes them sit down together and have a conversation, and oh my gosh, breathtaking scenes, and so well acted by John Lindstrom and John York, and also Christina Wagner, who just crying in the background. It was beautifully done, and I think that particular scene was my favorite scene all year. Cassidine Greenland thing was very rare. You're right, it was. The Cassidines were very watered down. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, I feel like that's why they went all in with Victor Cassidine, because Victor Cassidine, while he was evil, he wasn't Helena Cassidine evil, and they really turned him into that. Frankly, I think that's what they should have done with Valentine Cassidine when they decided to bring him back however many years ago it's been now. And they never did. They just made Victor his dad and made Victor the evil one. Your favorite storyline in 2023 was Nina? Man, I have to admit, the SEC thing was my least favorite. Just because it's been dragged out for so long. The Cassidine story, it was very compact, and it hit all the things that it needed to hit. It wasn't too long, it wasn't too short. It was just a good amount of time with a great arc leading up to it, and when it happened, and when it wrapped. So I appreciated that storyline for sure the most. All right, but back to this week's GH though. What we did, we talked about Sonny and Nina. We talked about Carly's grief for Bobby, the other characters grieving for Bobby. Ooh. One thing I want to bring up for sure, and I had this in my notes highlighted, y'all. I'm so bitter that my notes got deleted, you guys. I'm not even kidding. I'm so pissed off. But I'm going through it, okay? But Michael and Willow. Willow being so pissed at Michael and just laying into him. You know, Willow being like, you lied to me. You think like I'm fragile and all this stuff, and how dare you lie to me? And then Michael, his punk ass, instead of being a gentleman and being like, I'm sorry, you're right, I shouldn't have kept this from you, what can I do to make it right? He was like, oh, you mean like you kept your cancer away from hidden from me? And I was like, the audacity this man has right now to throw Willow's cancer and what she did in her face. And then Willow was, this is what made it for me. Willow's like, I need you to not come home tonight. Michael done got in the doghouse, y'all. This whole SEC storyline, that moment made it worth it. Okay? As much as I hated the storyline, that moment made it worth it for me. Just Michael ending up in the doghouse with Willow. I think that they're gonna work it out because Willow is Willow, and I'm not looking forward to that part. But oh, that made my night watching that episode. So good. Kelly Monaco in a recent interview said in her mind J-Sam is endgame, but I don't see it anymore. I don't know. I don't want to see Charlie. What is Charlie? Charlie is Jason and Carly. DJ, you said I liked Charles Shanze's Victor recast, but he wasn't nearly as deadly as the original Victor. Charles Victor was too happy-go-lucky. That's true. I do miss original Victor, and because he literally played Victor in the 80s, it was great that we had him return when he did. Not that I don't think Charles has done a great job. I think that he did. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't the same. It would have been all that more chilling to have the original Victor, but I think he is on another soap. Always wanted Willow to sleep with TJ. That'd be messy. But how is he in the doghouse when his family owns the house? Well, I think Michael is just gonna respect her wishes. I mean, I suppose he could go to the main house. I guess he can go to the main house. She just doesn't want him sleeping in their side house. So yeah, he can sleep in a spare room at the Quartermain Mansion. It ain't cushy. I'm just glad that Willow's just like, please go away for a bit. Teo's Victor was much more ruthless and lethal. No way he would have backed down from Sonny. Well, it depends how the writers wrote him when Teo played him. Didn't like his original Victor because there's too much like his character on Days, an exact copy. So which came first, Victor Cassadine or the Damaris character he played? Was that both in the 80s? When do you think Carly's gonna find out that Michael knew? I think she's not gonna find that part out until after Bobby's funeral. And I think that's what's gonna cause her to spiral more. Okay, so you're saying that Teo was on GH first and then went to Days. So come on, you can't be like, oh, he's too much like the Damaris character when he literally played Victor in the 80s before he was on Days. If anything, the Damaris character is like Victor. Okay, Felicia telling Cody that she has his recent results of his DNA. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, that was also in my notes, and what I had said was, I think because Sasha knew that Felicia was doing the DNA test, that she probably warned Cody, and whatever the results are probably not the true results. So, I think she's expecting it to say that he's Max, and I think it's going to say that he's not. Because Sasha probably forewarned him. Pat Smith pattern, the Damaris after the Cassadine. So there you have it, Kaiwan. There you have it. Oh, the same writer wrote both stories. That's right, because the Ice Princess happened during the strike, right? Isn't that kind of how that went down? Because there was a writer's strike back then as well. But yeah, anyway, I thought that, I'm pretty sure that Cody probably switched the DNA results because Sasha probably forewarned him. But we'll see. If not, I'll be surprised. But it's just like, the reason why I think that that's gonna happen is because we don't have John York right now. We don't have him. Like, they can't continue the story so quickly without Mac. So this is the one storyline where I will forgive the writers for dragging it out because we need him back. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. You know what I mean? Oh, the Ice Princess conclusion was written by Scabs. Okay. Alright. Pat Smith renounced that storyline on Entertainment Tonight. That's funny. Alright. Well, what else is there to talk about? We talked about Sonny and Nina, Bobby, the characters mourning her, Felicia and Cody. Did not enjoy Sasha comforting Nina and be like, don't give up hope. Well, I think the one thing that stood out to me with Nina and Sasha's scenes is that I think Sasha pointed out that Nina has a need to kind of pry and insinuate herself and try to get people to forgive her by kind of going to them and basically begging them for their forgiveness. And I think she's going to struggle with that. Sasha's just telling her to take a step back, much like Sasha did for Nina, and let them come to her. And whether that's going to work, it's not going to work for Carly or Sonny, I don't think. Well, I mean, it might work for Sonny. It certainly won't work for Carly. Sasha did point out that Willow is a forgiving person, so I think that down the line, Willow will forgive her. But as you can see, Nina was already leaving Willow voice messages, and it was just like, really, girl? Like, you know what you did. You know that everyone hates you right now for what you did. Back off. Back off. Like, that's that on that. You know Sasha will support Nina. Yeah, of course she will. But I just think, and I think that she'll probably talk to Willow and try to, you know, work Willow a little bit to be open to forgiving Nina. The Nina character is just so one note. There are no real layers. That's why everyone hates her. Yeah, like, to that end, I think one thing that stood out to me is that, well, especially when I mentioned earlier, Nina being like, I know you're not done with me, to Sonny. It felt like in that moment, her inner, like, it made me realize, wow, she really is Nell's mother. Like, in terms of, like, the, like, little psychotic tendencies that are still in there with Nina. That woman needs therapy, really. That woman needs a full-time therapist to just talk things out and to help her see what path she should and shouldn't be taking. Ooh, we didn't talk about Nicholas and Ava yet, so let's talk about it. Nicholas is back. Nicholas is back, and he didn't act towards Ava how I thought he would. He seemed like, initially it seemed like he had some big revenge plot for Ava in store, because, like, you know, hiding from Ava this whole time and going off, and, you know, him being mad about her leaving him for dead, essentially. But he seems to want to get back together with her and have the both of them get together on revenge on Esme. And I just looked at these things like, this man is toxic as hell. Ava, please just get away from him. Even you deserve better than Nicholas. I just want Nicholas to be written as he used to be. Like, when he was, like, dark and broody, but, like, good-hearted. Where did the good heart go? I mean, at this point, the thing is, like, they're going on the assumption that Esme has no memory, and we know that she has her memory back. So it could be interesting to see what Nicholas will do, but at the same time, Nicholas has to kind of stay in hiding, right? Because there's a warrant out for him. Like, he's in trouble for putting Esme in a tower in the first place. Nicholas wants Ava back, I bet. The way he was looking at her. Yeah, he was thirsty for her. Adam Huss just does nothing for me as Nick. I think the plot against Esme is a good angle, but have no emotional connection to Adam Huss as that character. I felt that way about Marcus, though, to be honest, as well. And the thing is, the reality is, Tyler is a hard act to follow. Tyler, you know, he was Nicholas. He played him since he was a young adult. So, I don't know. It's a hard character to replace. I can't picture an actor that would be a good replacement for him. And I'm willing to give Adam Huss a chance. I don't dislike him, but we didn't see a whole lot of him. But at the same time, the Nicholas character has been trashed for so long. I don't think it matters who, even if there was like the second coming of a great actor to play him. I just don't like the character anymore, and they don't seem to want to do right with the character. They want to make him this bad guy and this shitty father and this vengeful dude when like, you know, he was like a kind-hearted just dude with a crappy family. You know what I mean? I don't know, I just feel like had Tyler been playing Nicholas this whole time with the writing that Nicholas has gotten, I don't even think Tyler could make me feel for the character if they wrote him as what they've been writing him as. Nicholas hasn't been the same since Emily died. I know he changed, but he wasn't this evil until like the Ron Carlivati era. Because obviously losing love of your life, that's going to change you a little bit. But, you know, he had this good relationship with Nadine after that. And then, of course, he met Emily's twin, Rebecca. And things got awkward there. And, you know, she was trying to use Emily's name to get money out of the Quartermains. And so that pissed him off. But at the same time, he wasn't, like, evil. He just felt justified in, like, you know, you used the love of my life to take advantage of myself and her family. Like, of course he's gonna be a bit shady with that. But really, like, the evil Nicholas didn't come in until he started rigging an election in Port Charles. For what? Like, that seems so left field. And then keeping Jason's identity a secret, even though it didn't turn out to be Jason after all. And then, like, being such an ass to Spencer. Like, none of this, like, it's just not Nicholas, and it hasn't been Nicholas, and Tyler's Nicholas was putting hits on Hayden. Yeah, like, and back then I didn't like it. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's Ron Carlivati's version of Nicholas that we've not been able to shake no matter what writers have come in. It's like they just want to continue that trend with him. And so I don't think I will enjoy the Nicholas character, even if Tyler was around to continue to play him. You know? It's like, That's the reality for me. The character has been ruined, and it's just, there's no coming back. Or they just don't seem to want to pull back or make the character right again. Writers pick up on the strengths and weaknesses of the actors, and they write story follow suit sometimes. I think if Tyler was with us, the character would probably be written with more nuance. Yeah, but he was pulling, like Angel said, like he was putting hits out on Hayden. Like, that wasn't even like Nicholas, and I wasn't enjoying him then either. And that was Tyler, as talented as he is. And even to me, like, as nuanced as Tyler is, there was nothing in my mind that was like, I feel for Nicholas because of the kind of person we know he is, because who we knew him to be was no longer who we know him to be under Ron. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about that. Anything else to address? Oh, ooh. One more real big thing here. Well, not real big thing, but one thing that happened in reference to Tracy and Lucy and Scott. Scott had been flirting with Tracy in text messages, and while Scott was doing that, he was with Lucy at the PC Grill. This was before they had all learned about Bobby's passing. Laura had taken a selfie to put on Instagram, and Brooklyn and Chase basically made Tracy an Instagram account and followed Laura and Felicia and, like, you know, the PC girls that she would follow. And Tracy saw in the back of Laura's selfie with her brother and Kevin, Scott and Lucy in the background putting their heads together. So Tracy is on to the fact that they are plotting something against her. I don't know. She's probably figured out that they're trying to take the company away from her in some way. And I'm glad Tracy has the one up on them, because this is a stupid ass plan in the first place. And also because it'll kind of probably distract her from Brooklyn's plan to take the company from Tracy and give it to Maxie. And that's what I want to happen. I want Maxie to own Deception, because Lord knows how many years did we spend watching Maxie like work her ass off at Crimson only to have it taken away from her and given to Nina, and Nina getting kind of all the glory and fame for all of Maxie's ideas, and then she was just always the second banana, and then she joined Deception, where Lucy is kind of the star of the show. Like, Maxie needs to be number one. I want Maxie to be number one. So if Tracy already knows what's going on with Lucy and Scott, then I'm all for it. Let her be distracted by that and let Brooklyn work her magic. That whole mess with Nick gaslighting Spencer was so out of character for him. Exactly. Yeah, leave it to Ron. Exactly. Who are you talking about? Who is still married? Taiwan. DG said, I don't like Chris and Dan, but they are better than Ron Carlivati at least. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like, the last few writers that have come in after Ron were all better than Ron. So, I just feel like it could be worse. Ron is the only writer that has made me quit watching GH. To put things in perspective, I've been watching since like 2004, somewhere around there. Ron is the only writer that made me stop watching. Guza came close though. Guza came close. Tracy has already figured out Scott and Lucy's game. Lucy is a ditz. She can't throw down against Tracy, no way. GH is being so ableist and having Curtis walking again. Would they write a story where they cure Brad or Blaze? What do you mean? What do you mean, Brad or Blaze? Like, what do you mean? Cure them from what? Nina didn't deserve Crimson. Yeah, she really didn't. I mean, okay, to be fair, she was only given Crimson because Julian figured Nina would run it into the ground with no experience under her belt. And Nina would have done that had Maxie not been there to basically put all the ideas forth for them to save Crimson. Hayden and Nicholas still married. married. Oh, are they? So I still don't know what you mean, come on. But also, for the record, Christelle, like, we don't know for sure that that's going to work with Curtis, although we know that Donnell wants Curtis to walk again. I'm sure he's tired of sitting in that wheelchair. We'll see. There might be a failure of the surgery at first, and then maybe they'll have to address it later. But yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I'd like GH to keep their money where their mouth is and make him permanently paralyzed. You know, it's just to give it the realistic whatever instead of some experimental procedure that's just going to magically make him walk again. Trying to think if there's anything left to talk about in terms of the stories from this week. I don't think so. And I think we've been on for an hour now since I had to start really late. Again, apologize for that, you guys. But yeah, I think I'll end it here. Thanks so much for your patience. Oh, I'm still so bitter and mad that all my notes were deleted. And I worked so damn hard on them, you guys. You're probably right, Angel. But yeah, this Wednesday we will be on again for a live stream. I don't know what we're going to react to or talk about, but we might just hang out. And then I think starting Sunday, I'm going to try to do the live streams at least an hour earlier. And honestly, that would help me too, because I've been trying to get into the habit of going to bed early, and then I have a lot to do when I'm wrapping the live stream on a Sunday night before I go to bed. So it would help me too. Donnell Turner is one of the best new leading men. Curtis does not need to remain paralyzed. Donnell Turner is a great actor. I'll give him that for sure. They just need to do better with the character. But yeah, no game plan for the Wednesday stream yet. It might just be hanging out, but I'll look into things and see if I can find something to discuss or watch. Alright. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and thank you for your patience again. If you liked this live stream that failed for half an hour, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys this Wednesday. Peace out. Mwah.